Hello my friends, welcome back to the Mordor campaign. I suppose we'll begin on the home front in Mordor. I like that Mordor and Gondor are now seen as the heartland of our empire. It's just sort of bizarre to think that at some point in the past, this was the most heated part of our conquest, and now it is subdued, and it has become the economic heartland. Minas Tirith and Pelargir both pulling in nearly 4,000 gold each. Pelargir just shy, Minas Tirith just over. Even so, Rohan in a way is more of a heartland. I think we make more cash collectively, Tirith Anduin to Edoras, than we do in Gondor. It's probably pretty close. But the greater point is there's going to be some action here at some point, and we need to prepare. Uvatha, the horseman, is marching towards Arnak. I have a general here ready to act as his second in command, his lieutenant. I've got Laguf in position, ready to rock. I then also have a general just outside Emin Arnen to receive those troops when the time comes. I'm trying to avoid having my generals in cities when they need not to be, because it seems they will immediately receive, well, not immediately, but they will eventually receive traits like social drinker, or they'll become a drunk or whatever, and that is really detrimental to their command. So I figure if I were to leave these generals stationed outside of the cities for a couple turns, for, I don't know, tens of turns perhaps, it will be better for their health in the long run. Now, Uvatha is waiting for his captain to arrive, who will then join up with that new general who will act as his lieutenant. It is Ufluk. Ufluk is going to be his lieutenant. We also, just as a slight detour, I guess, side note, we have a new candidate for adoption. Radhir the Mean is going to adopt Muzzrat, potentially. He's not going to, because Muzzrat may have died. He may have gotten into a duel. He may have been ambushed. Maybe he has been trapped by his rivals. If you can't tell, I've been playing Shadow of Mordor. So that's a frequent occurrence. Uruk generals getting hoodwinked by their contemporaries, their comrades in arms. Okay, we have a little bit of gold, but it looks to me like we're gonna have a rough time coming up. We immediately have devolved into debt once again because we spent all of our money. I retrained all the units I needed to. I replenished my garrisons. This is what this is. I replenished my garrisons in the Heartland, in Rohan, in the west near the mountains, Dol Guldur, Caern Amroth, etc., etc. I also recruited, more importantly, a bunch of fucking spies, because I need intel, and I need it desperately. Especially when it comes to Harad and their actions. I'm gonna send Lughorn south. Leghorn is gonna head south. And he's gonna take a look at Tirith Ride, and if at all possible, maybe just see how valid a target the Heartland or the original lands of Harad are. Let's see. We also have this dude in Pelargir by the name of Nagbug. He's going to take a look at Gondor. Lynn here looks to be pretty lightly defended. We also have this dude in Durwath by the name of Nagduff. It looks like he has a wonderful mane of hair. I want him to head south. That would be great. Head due south to keep an eye on these Haradrim scum. Now we have line of sight. Oh man, I actually recruited I recruited quite a few spies. We have line of sight to Pinnith Gelen with Gazgash, and I think we'll just continue to the east. And holy shit. Oh my fucking god. This is where... Holy fuck. This is where all of the military might of Harad is. Look at this. They have stacks and stacks of Serpent Guard. What in the fuck? Musab, Amro, explain yourself. Kuzema, the Conqueror. What the fuck is going on here? You have... Okay, this is more reasonable and a nice mix. But Captain Sufyan, look at this. It's just mounted and dismounted Serpent Guard. There's one unit of Trollmen of Harad, I suppose, for diversity, so they look good in a photo. You can have that one token Trollman. I don't know what you were thinking. So it's not just... That's extremely worrying. Oh, buddy. I don't know what to do about that. I don't think there's any way we could turn back 6 stacks of Harad. Essentially, that's my entire military just chilling in Lond Galen. Oh boy, and that's one city. I imagine we're gonna find something else like that, perhaps in the original lands of Harad. That makes me shit my pants big time. I mean, we have 2 stacks ready to pounce onto Gondor. Maybe we just need to blitz them. If we can capture cities, maybe we could weather them out. Maybe we could find some good choke points, rivers and the like. It's gonna be tough. It's a fucking tough one. Moving on, we have a new spy in Riverrun. It is Radgash. Looks like he has some sort of skin condition. Very unfortunate for him. I want him actually to assist in keeping an eye on the dwarves. We need to know 100% what it is they're doing. So I'm going to scout this this road here. The road from Erebor to, what is it? Azanulimbar Doom? Oh my god, Azanulimbar Doom. Look at that. Fucking from memory. The more I see it, the more I say it, the more ingrained in my very being it is becoming. I'm also going to keep a spy just outside Worm Cove, so we have a better idea what's going on there. I think what I would like to do is swing down with Dawn Death, recapture Thranduil's halls, because it looks to me like there are going to be very, very few troops there. Swing on down there, recapture that, push north into Worm Cove. Having captured Worm Cove, we can also move on Erebor. Hopefully, with the 2 combined armies here, we can actually push against any sort of force the dwarves muster in Azanulimbar Doom. I imagine that they actually have quite a few men there. From what I recall, there's actually nearly a full stack of dwarves somewhere in the Iron Hills, which we have to be aware of. My concern here is that we don't have nearly enough troops in Asgaroth Dale and Riverrun, and by extension Erebor, to actually hold all 4 against perhaps a full stack. So I don't want to overextend without support from, say, Dawn Death. And speaking of Dawn Death, I would actually like it if he were to head to the east, drop a watchtower.
It will be an honor defeating you.
We actually have a mission to assassinate Bard now, which is really hilarious. We're never going to be able to assassinate him, but we may be able to kill him in battle. On the field of battle. I'm beginning to drop towers. What a weird tangent. Battle. I'm beginning to drop towers around just because I need intel always, forever and always. We just need to be a little bit careful with how we handle our generals. We don't want to leave them out in the open. Open to disaster, essentially. I'm just going to grab Yagor, drop a tower, return to Esgaroth. There it is. So we have a pretty good idea of what's going on. I would like to place one here, although, having said that, this is a border with Run. We don't need to worry too much. I feel as if the dwarves have some tricks up their sleeveys. They have some armies up their sleeveys. I think what I'll do is I'll just send these guys to meet each other, so we have a better idea of what's going on the old North Road along the Grey Mountains. Just because I don't want to be hoodwinked by the armies in Gundabad if they were to cross over. Much the same I worry about an army from Worm Cove crossing over to the north to capture Dane's Halls. Though, having said that, I can't imagine that is going to happen. We will know if it were to happen due to our intel. Speaking of Gundabad, I just recently killed Hanar with, like, seriously, minimal casualties. I don't know how I did it, but it was amazing. Adunafel has proven himself on the field of battle yet again, and I'm going to use him ever so briefly just to drop another watchtower in the mountain passes, so we have a better idea of what's going on. Ren the Unclean and his many troops are going to continue north towards Gundabad. I just recently dropped a tower here with Ufgaz, and he's going to return to Framsburg. I almost want to drop one on the river here, but that's really not necessary. Oh my fucking god. Somehow he is pissing off the people of Framsburg. Is it because he has low obedience? No. Is it because of his traits? Is it because he's cheap? I think it's due to cultural unrest. What little obedience he has is really pissing off the people of Framsburg, apparently. Let's see. Cultural unrest, 25. Distance to capital, 40. We may have to consider moving our capital soon. And my prime candidate right now is bang in the center of the Empire. It's got to be Tirith Anduin, doesn't it? That is bang in the center of everything. North, south, east, west. Tirith Anduin or perhaps Waldburg. I say Tirith Anduin because it seems sort of isolated and defensible, and it's got a river port. That seems like a great thing to have for a capital, but that's definitely something we'll have to look at doing. Minas Tirith, though I love it as the capital, is just too far away from our northern holdings. Most obvious in Danes, Halls, and Framsburg, which are losing their minds, essentially, due to cultural unrest. I guess for Framsburg, we'll have to leave our general outside the city. There he is. That's unfortunate. I recently removed these Alakhai from Framsburg. I want them to combine with this unit in Hormarath's Folly, but then also they ought to be able to head to Goblin Town and retrain in the next few turns. I also have a spy in Talsir. Let's just take a look ever so quickly. I have Radnag. My god, that's an excellent helmet that he has. We will use him. Let's see. So we have Luglun here, who I think I'm going to send south as well. The more spot... He'll keep an eye on the border. Let's do that. Nagduf can keep an eye on the situation between these two cities. Gazgash can head over here. I could have sworn that I recruited a spy as well in Edoras, or was it Dunharrow? Apparently not, but I definitely want a spy in Edoras. There we go. That way we can look around at Eric, the city of Calimbel, Ethring, possibly even Tarnost, although Nagbug is going to be doing a lot of that, but he could potentially head over to Dolamroth just to see what's going on. Okay, returning to Talsir, we have our two armies marching. There was a captain here that I wanted to attack, but he's disappeared. I suspect he's hidden himself somewhere. Oh, here he is. Here I am, getting all paranoid, like, oh, he's hidden himself in the trees. Charlie's in the fucking bushes, and here he is, Captain Kandagian. The remainders of the troops in Talsir. My god, speaking of Talsir, it's going crazy. He is fleeing north, I guess, to cross the river here. That's just fine. Don't know what the river is, not particularly bothered at the moment. We're going to continue towards Londare. I feel as if Hormarath is going to be more than able to handle whatever forces the High Elves throw at us. We're 2 turns away. We can potentially attack the captain, or... You know what we could do? We could wait for our captain to arrive, we could do a forced draw out. Alternatively, we could take one unit out and do the same. Gazbag is going to head towards Lond Angren, and in fact, he's able to besiege it immediately. Or rather, he's able to do it next turn, which we'll try. I think we ought to be able to do that. We should be able to hold down the siege of Lond Angren and starve out the elves there. Speaking of starving elves, my god, we are still besieging Imladris. Elrond has lost a disgusting amount of weight. He looks like Mick Jagger. It's crazy. I know what's his fucking name? Elrond. I know Elrond is potentially timeless. He is essentially, for all intents and purposes, immortal. But he's really beginning to lose weight. You can see his ribs, and it looks like he's snorting coke in one nostril, and I don't know, doing something with the other, puking out the other. It makes no fucking sense, this joke. What I'm trying to say is the people in Imladris are becoming disastrously, disgustingly starved, and it's becoming a real problem. It's 100% a humanitarian or maybe a elftarian crisis that ultimately I should not be making light of. It's truly one of the disasters of our time, and I politely and respectfully ask that you bow your head in silence as we mourn those lost, as we can. No, fuck that. We're about to capture Imladris, sack the ever-loving shit out of it, steal all of their money, steal all of their women, rape their bread, destroy their jam stocks, and generally just have a wonderful time. We're also going to continue scouting, just because I want to know what's going on. Here's Graham. Interestingly enough, still held by Isengard. I think we'll have Naglug keep an eye on Coldfells, and we'll have Gazluck continue to the west. Look at that, he's already found Captain Halbarad. Now, at this point, I feel as if we've maneuvered every single army. We've dealt with the High Elves in the extreme west. We've dealt with the High Elves in the northwest, in Imladris. We've moved our armies around. I haven't quite decided what I would like to do with our good friend Adunafel yet. I don't know if he wants to attack Coldfells. I feel like Coldfells would be the best target. We could attack Coldfells, put a very small garrison in this fort, in the town, retreat to Hormraz Folly, and over time we can retrain and recruit units here, and then ultimately maybe we would be able to go for... Actually, no, here's what we'll do. We'll go for Coldfells with Adunafel. Ren the Unclean ought to be able to capture Gundabad as well as Litash with his current army. That will give us a border with the forces of Isengard in Graham, so we should be somewhat defended there. There's also a town up here by the name of Carn Dûm. It says it's held by the Orcs of Gundabad, but in fact it's held by Arnor. It is the region of Angmar, which we'll have to be careful of. I suppose that's about it. We could use some more units from Rakyaburg. We need specifically Raiders, Orc Band. Could use some Uruks. Specifically halberds if we had any. Smoke if you got them. Unfortunately, we have nothing. You lose! You get nothing! We are actually... That's a Willy Wonka reference, I believe. Just spitting hot fire over here. Inco. Going with the really relevant and current references. I am not going to retrain those Orc Archers. I am instead going to recruit an Orc Raider and a Spy. We shall call him Harriet the Spy. Again, an out-of-world current reference. I think what we need to do, though, is send on over a unit of Orc Band. Actually, we may need some additional units just to garrison Dane's Halls, actually. Let's see, one Archer unit, Orc Band, Orc Raider. Will that do? Certainly will. Unfortunately, we also need some Morning Guard. And Maulers. Okay, we'll deal with this next turn. For now, I think we are more than ready to end the turn. We're essentially just moving troops around, going broke, and generally having a wonderful time. Radhur the Mean is again going to try to adopt. I hope this time perhaps he has chosen a healthier candidate, a younger, more beautiful candidate, someone that you can really marry off in a sort of arranged marriage situation. If you could leverage your adopted son, your Uruk son, to better your own position within the hierarchical society of Mordor, well, that doesn't sound like such a bad idea. Gorbug is actually not bad at all. He is a proven commander, apparently. He is a siege expert. He's brave, he has marks of war, loyal, noble in battle, and obedient. So he has not a negative trait, although at this point he's looking more to be a governor due to his respect, which is chivalry, really, and his obedience. The higher the obedience, the better a governor he is because it increases income. The higher chivalry / respect, the more population growth. Though I recently read that chivalry in Total War, Third Age Total War, has been significantly nerfed. I never knew this until recently. You need 7 pips of chivalry to increase growth by half a percentage point. So even though Gorbug has 3 command stars, I would probably use him as a governor first. Here's the thing, every time a follower of Morgoth, like a Orcish, Uruk, goblin general, every time they fight against anyone who is quote-unquote good, then they automatically gain dread. They automatically gain fear, which makes them better on the battlefield, but that makes them, in some ways, a worse governor. But really, governorship is not a huge, crucial part of playing as Mordor. You can see here I've stuck Sauron outside of Edoras because he is just not meant to be there. Let's see, Gorbug. I've got Muslin the Honest as a general outside of Dunharrow. I figured maybe he ought to be a good general just due to his low obedience. He has 0 command stars though, that's the only thing. He also has some traits that would make him a okay-ish general if nothing else shows up. Luckily for us though, something has shown up in the form of Gorbug. Gorbug seems to be the guy. He ought to be the general that is going to lead the siege of Eric, whereas Muslin, I almost want to get him killed because he's kind of useless at the moment. He's got so many bad traits. He is not salvageable as a general. I think he has many traits that makes him poor as a general. For example, I think he's a drunkard, perhaps? Yes, he's a fucking alcoholic, which reduces his command. He is chivalrous in rule, which raises his respect, and it's sort of like a zero-sum game. If you increase respect, you automatically decrease fear / dread. Dread, of course, being a trait you really want in your generals. Let's see. In Edoras, we have, in fact, recruited that spy by the name of Yagher, who looks exactly like Muslin, which is peculiar. Peculiar indeed. Send him south. I want him to head toward... Let's just keep an eye on Eric and Calimbel. That would be okay. Let's get Nagbug to check out... What is this? Tarnost? What the fuck is this? Oh, that's like a... That was me shitting my heart out my ass. My stomach just just dropped. Look at this garbage. Oh my god, it's not only it's not just that it's huge amounts of stacks of troops, it's that it is like, as far as I'm concerned, the dismounted Serpent Guard. The Serpent Guard in general are just extremely good units. You would think that the majority of their army would be tribesmen, but no, they brought somehow basically the knights of their empire. Man, Tarnost and Longalen apparently are places to be. These places are fucking happening. I don't know what to do with that information. It's not good. It's not good information. In fact, I'm gonna send Nagdov to check out Anulon just to make sure it's not another Longalen. Although, having said that, apparently Anulon is under siege somehow. I have zero fucking idea how that's possible. Zero idea. Excuse me.
I stand here unthreatened by you.
I stand here unthreatened by you. Abon the Profane is looking pretty intimidating, but luckily we can intimidate him right back. Boom! Because we've got Uvatha the Horseman on the goddamn case. We're gonna send our captain over there to join him. Ufluk is going to... oh shit, I forgot. Ufluk actually has a unit of Olaghai for Uvatha. He's gonna support our main boy, ya boy, Hormarath, or rather Uvatha. Shit. It's not a good look.
I care little of what you think of my ways.
Oh god. Abon the Profane is... he has a lot of movement points. Apparently he can basically waltz around us and besiege Arnak. Yes, I get it. Do not bother me. You know what? Oban the Profane sort of looks like a fat Theon Greyjoy. It's amazing. Okay, Lughorn is going to take a look at Tirith Raid. I'm trying to think. Foghorn Leghorn is the rooster, the cock cartoon character, and he has a very particular way of speaking, and I was going to impersonate it. I was going to mimic it rather, but I can't really think of what he sounds like. It's like, I say, something like that. Something to that degree. I can't recall. Let's move on before I embarrass myself further, really. I embarrass myself every day. That's what I feel like. We are going to besiege Lond Angren, apparently unopposed. I am extremely surprised. I thought, I could have sworn that there were some elven captains kicking around in the forest, but apparently, now that I'm looking at Londair, they all marched north. We have Captain Nesterin, which is basically an army of ballista. We have Tawarthian, which is an army of Bokwendi, Swordquendi, Eldorinwe archers. There's also catapults, and we've got shreds of an army under Captain Merilarian. And I'm not sure what to do here. I think we just have to, through several night attacks, we just need to pick our way through these dudes to Londair. And if at all possible, we can do a forced draw out. That would be nice. Okay, I just want to track Captain Kindaugian, making sure he's not threatening Talsir in any way. In the meantime, I'm going to grab Radnag and just keep an eye on the northern borders of East Endwythe. We're going to have... oh, apparently Isengard has captured Argond, but they have not progressed any further west. Very interesting. Before I forget, I also have a spy in Rakiburg. Rakiburg, oh shit, I nearly lost my mind there. By the name of Muzduff, and to be honest, I sort of forget why it is I recruited this guy. Was it because I wanted to look to the west? To the north? That's not a good sign. This is the sign of a brain beginning to fail. I can't recall something that I did literally like 20 minutes ago. I think I wanted to send him the long way round to Worm Cove just to make sure we've got no surprises en route. Okay, we're gonna send Radgash to Azanul-Limbardum, which has a full stack, well no, what in the fuck? That is not a full stack of troops. What in the fuck is going on here? Captain Buren. Okay, Captain Buren has a full... Oh, I see. I see what I've done. Okay, Captain Buren, our favorite Dwarven Lord. Well, he's not a lord, but he's a respected captain within the Dwarven ranks. He has a full stack. Azanolimbor Doom has half a stack. So let's keep an eye on that. Make sure Captain Buren doesn't get away from us. That way, we can move on Thranduil's Halls, Worm Cove, Erebor in one swift movement. Well, I say swift, but it's going to be a few turns. I'm going to build that army for Dawndeath, and I'm going to ship him out at the end of the video, probably off camera. You won't see that shit. You will not see that shit. What you will see is this captain not going to Dane's Halls. I was going to send him there, but that's something, again, I can deal off camera. We are, however, going to grab Ren the Unclean and sick him on Gundabad. His captain, his lieutenant, Captain Radlock, is many moons behind. That's just fine. Adunafel gonna return to Hormraz Folly and prepare himself for the inevitable march on Coldfells, which is gonna be happening soon. We are 2 turns away from, I guess, having the elves in Imlandris forfeit the town and therefore their lives. I've just moved a bunch of units into Captain Yagdush's army. They shall serve as reinforcements. We're still holding the line in the fort around Moria. We're holding the line within Moria itself. I want to get a good look at Byrig. There we go. Okay, what else is going on? We've moved Uvatha. Do we need to do any battling? I don't think so. I think this is essentially the end of the episode and also the end of the turn. As I said, I'm going to build that army for Dawndeath and send him at Thranduil's Halls. I almost want to go through Mirkwood. It looks to me like Thranduil himself is no longer kicking around. So we'll send him through Mirkwood to capture Thranduil's Halls, which is apparently becoming, as I predicted, a hotspot for Dwarven activity. Once he's done that, he's going to march out towards Worm Cove, capture that, and also protect and cover the inevitable capture and holding of Erebor. Unfortunately, Riverrun, Esgaroth, Dale are terrible territories for us to occupy at the moment. Okay. I want to retrain these great spiders, but I'm having difficulty finding the place to do it. I think that's essentially all we need to do is just move Dawndeath. Maybe I will... Okay, I also need to fight some of these battles, perhaps, before next episode. But anyway, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Mordor campaign. Things are certainly kicking off. Preparing against Harad, but I just need more fucking money. I need less wars in I think the best thing that can happen to me within the next 10-20 turns is to annihilate the dwarves in the north, consolidate my forces, and use that money to fund armies on the southern border. Something in Durwath, something in Dunharrow that can blitz, maybe another army. Oh god. I think we have to hold here. We have to hold at this river. Or these rivers. We need to do some defending. Maybe whilst Zagoth marches south to capture Tirith Raid, that sort of thing. Maybe he can hit the Haradrim where it really hurts as we hold off. Just stack after stack after stack of troops. I really need some more catapults. That's what I'm thinking. I need like ballistas, catapults, all that shit. Stat, double stat. Anyway, as I said, I'm going to end it here. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment. Always appreciated. And as always, my name is Incoherence. You guys are fucking awesome, and I will see you all later.